Once upon a time, in a lush, green forest teeming with life, lived a peacock named Pavo. Oh, Pavo was magnificent. His feathers were a breathtaking cascade of iridescent blues, shimmering greens, and deep purples, dotted with jewel-like eye spots that seemed to hold the magic of 1,000 sunsets. Whenever he fanned his tail, it was like a living rainbow, a spectacle so grand that all the forest creatures would stop whatever they were doing just to gasp in awe. And Pavo knew it. He would strut around the forest, his head held high, his chest puffed out with pride. He spent his days preening by the clearest streams, admiring his own reflection, and demanding compliments from everyone he met. "Isn't my plumage the most glorious sight you've ever seen?" He would squawk, not really asking, but commanding agreement. In the same forest, high up in the sturdy branches of an old oak tree, lived a crow named Corvus. Corvus was, well, a crow. His feathers were the color of midnight, a simple, glossy black. He didn't have a splendid tail or shimmering colors. He was plain, and Pavo the peacock never missed an opportunity to remind him of it. "Ah, Corvus," Pavo would say with a sneer, "must be so dreary being you. Just a drab, dark blot against the beautiful sky. Why don't you go hide in the shadows where you belong?" Corvus never replied with anger. He would simply nod, give a gentle caw, and fly away. While Pavo was busy admiring himself, Corvus was busy helping others. He'd show lost fawns the way back to their mothers, warn squirrels of approaching predators with his loud caws, and share his foraged berries with smaller birds who couldn't find food. The other animals didn't praise Corvus for his looks, but they loved him for his kind heart. One hot summer afternoon, the sky, which had been a brilliant blue, began to darken ominously. Thick, grey clouds rolled in, and a fierce wind started to howl through the trees. Pavo was, as usual, by the riverbank, showing off his glorious tail to a family of rabbits. He was so caught up in his own beauty that he didn't notice the danger until a massive bolt of lightning split the sky, followed by a deafening clap of thunder. The heavens opened up, and rain began to pour down in relentless sheets. The gentle river swelled in an instant, its waters turning brown and angry. Pavo let out a cry of panic. His magnificent, heavy tail, now soaked and waterlogged, was dragging him down. It was no longer a beautiful fan, but a heavy, muddy anchor. He struggled to move, to fly, but his feathers were too weighed down. The rising water swirled around his legs, pulling him toward the raging current. "Help!" he shrieked, his voice filled with terror. "Somebody please help me. I'm going to be washed away." The other animals had all run for cover, and no one could hear his desperate cries over the roar of the storm. Just as Pavo felt the strong current tug him off his feet, a dark shape swooped down from the stormy sky. It was Corvus. Without a moment's hesitation, Corvus flew straight at Pavo. He couldn't lift the heavy peacock, but he was clever. He began pecking fiercely at a thick, tangled vine hanging from a tree branch just above Pavo's head. He called loudly, encouraging the panicked peacock to look up. "Grab the vine!" Corvus screeched over the wind. "Grab it!" Pavo, shaking with fear and cold, reached up with his beak and talons and latched onto the sturdy vine just as feet were swept from under him. He dangled precariously over the churning water, his heart pounding in his chest. But Corvus wasn't done. He flew to the other animals who were hiding nearby. He cawed and flapped, explaining the situation. Rallied by the brave crow, a strong bear and a few deer came to the riverbank. Working together, they pulled on the vine, slowly but surely dragging the terrified peacock back onto solid ground. Pavo lay on the muddy earth, shivering and exhausted. His beautiful feathers were a tangled, dripping mess. They were no longer a source of pride, but the very thing that had almost caused his doom. He looked at Corvus, who was perched on a branch nearby, shaking the water from his own plain black wings. For the first time, Pavo saw past the drab feathers. He saw the bravery, the quick thinking, and the selfless kindness in the crow's bright, intelligent eyes. As the storm began to subside and a faint rainbow appeared in the sky, Pavo slowly got to his feet. He walked over to the old oak tree where Corvus rested. His head was no longer held high with arrogance, but bowed in humility. "Corvus," Pavo said, his voice soft and full of gratitude. I have been a fool. I judged you by your feathers, while ignoring the beauty of your heart. Your wings may be black, but your spirit shines brighter than any of my colors. You saved my life. Thank you." From that day on, Pavo was a changed peacock. He still had his beautiful feathers, but he no longer flaunted them with arrogance. Instead, he used his presence to help others. He would use his large tail to shelter smaller creatures from the sun or rain. He learned from Corvus that true beauty isn't about what you look like on the outside. It's not about shimmering colors or magnificent tails. It's about the kindness you show, the help you give, and the goodness within your heart. Pavo and Corvus became the best of friends, a living reminder to everyone in the forest that a kind heart is the most beautiful thing of all. Pavo's feathers were still admired, but it was Corvus's character that was truly celebrated. And together, the peacock and the crow made the forest a much more beautiful place. Not just with colors, but with compassion and friendship. Thanks for watching, and remember to spread a little kindness today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.